My name's David Bloom, and I am a longtime Flagstaff resident and climber. I moved here in 1990 for better weather. I moved from Oregon, where I really kind of started climbing a little bit harder, but the weather there was pretty terrible, so I moved to Arizona and found a wealth of rock here. And early on, I noticed that there'd been a lot done, but everywhere I went, there'd be a lot of rock that just there was nothing there. So started getting interested in doing first ascents, and Sedona, I guess, was my first big place where I went. And I guess my first ascent was this pretty obscure three-pitch climb that I've never even included in any of my own guidebooks because I wouldn't wish it on my best friends. That was way back in '92 during the Winter Olympics, and it's called the Tanya Harding Club, and it's just as nasty as that little skater was. It's mostly off-width and chimney and with horrible rock, and it's where I drilled my first bolt by hand and learned to get off climbs with ropes that were too short for the climb, and ended up having to lower myself off the ropes and onto my partner's shoulders in order to get back onto the ground. I'd like to think that I've progressed a bit since then. I've probably put up a couple hundred climbs now in Sedona, as well as in Zion, Indian Creek, and then lots of little crags around here. I've been here so long, and I've met so many of the other climbers that I sort of became the collector of information, and a while back I started writing guidebooks. I started out completely on my own, just me and a computer and Kinko's, and did a guide for a little local area here called Secret Canyon. And from there, I moved on to Paradise Forks, which some of you may know is like our best crack climbing area around. And the original guide was very amusing, and it was the best thing available at the time, but it was lacking photographs and proper directions, and so I approached Chalkstone Press, which doesn't exist anymore, but Chalkstone became Falcon Press, and Falcon became Globe Pequot, and all the big rock climbing books are now put out by them. So I started with them, and then I just kind of kept at it, and I noticed the need for a good comprehensive guide for Indian Creek in Utah. There had been one guide done, and it was really out of date. So I contacted an old friend, Fred Knapp, who owns Sharp End Publishing, and I said, "Do you ever think of doing a new Indian Creek guide?" And he said, "Show me what you got." And that turned into what is now considered the first American guidebook that was done in all color. That was about 10 years ago, and we're on the third edition now, probably working on the fourth soon. And I've been climbing for 32 years, I guess. I'm 51 now, and I have no plans to stop anytime soon. I feel like I'm climbing better than I almost ever have at any age, and I hope that that works out for everyone else, so don't get injured.